Joyce, no! Jeez Louise.
Oh, my goodness, he's out.
A absolutely horrible call.
Oh, my goodness. A perfect game taken away.
It's probably the most important call in my career, and I missed it. This isn't a call. This is a history call. And I kicked shit out of it. And I took a perfect game away from that kid over there that worked his off all night. And there's nobody that feels worse than I do.
So how would baseball, Jim Joyce, the Tigers, the Tiger fans, and the Indians respond the day after the missed call? We'll discuss that right now here on Baseball Tonight. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, J.P. Ricciardi along the way. Buster Olney joins us in this hour as well as we look at the day after at Comerica Park in Detroit. The Tigers hosting the Indians after Jim Joyce's missed call at first base cost that man, Armando Galarraga, a perfect game. This only about 14 hours later. Galarraga given a Corvette by both the Tigers and Chevrolet for his performance and the sportsmanship, which was a top shelf, certainly. Jim Joyce, who had first base last night, has the plate Thursday afternoon. And in what was quite an emotional moment just before the start of the game, it's Galarraga, last night's pitcher, who goes out and delivers the lineup card to Jim Joyce at the plate.
And at the plate for the Indians game is Jim Joyce.
JP, I'm not sure we've ever seen anything like this before.
This is incredible. I mean, I almost cried watching this. I mean, the guy was obviously touched. He knew he made a mistake. What a great, classy move by all the Tiger players coming over and letting them know, hey, we got your back. We know you went through a tough thing. We know you had a tough night. And we know this hurt you more than anybody else.
Everybody handled it with absolute dignity and class. Top to Luis Valbuena. And there's Austin Jackson, who made a tremendous catch to preserve Wednesday, what was the perfect game to that point, virtually the same catch Thursday.
Well, if anybody wants to know if he can go
seemed to be at most a subplot, part of the continued reaction from Wednesday night. Tiger players, umpire Jim Joyce all displayed dignity and humility as emotions in Detroit went from disbelief and anger to understanding and compassion. Here's Thursday's reaction.
Yeah, something that Leland, you know, he kind of they wanted me to do it. So I go over there and, you know, I see the guy. I know he feel really bad. I mean, he already changed the pay, the same I do. We're professional. He be way more longer than me, but we already changed the page, and it's keep on moving.
What'd you say to him?
I don't say really too much. He's, you know, give you a little bit slap in the bag, and you know, he check his hands, and that's it.
When I walked out of this door right here, I didn't know what to expect, to be very honest with you. And when I walked down that tunnel and I got the reception that I did from the Tiger fans, I had to wipe the eyes. That shows me a lot of class, you know. It shows me that the sportsmanship that he holds, and you know, his inner being is, you know, right there with the best of them. The sportsmanship and stuff has just been unbelievable on everybody's part. Major League Baseball's part, the Tigers, the Indians, my crew, my family. The sportsmanship and the appreciation for what we do. And I don't want to make it sappy and say the love or whatever, but, you know, for my family it was nothing but, you know, support and love. And from the fans, the support I got today was, I'll be honest with you, I got misty-eyed.
It's been reported the call will not be overturned. Commissioner Seelig did not address that specifically in a statement Thursday, which read in part as follows. As Jim Joyce said in his post-game comments, there is no dispute that last night's game should have ended differently. While the human element has always been an integral part of baseball, it is vital that mistakes on the field be addressed. Given last night's call and other recent events, I will examine our umpiring system, the expanded use of instant replay, and all other related features. Let's bring in Buster Olney now. Buster, some people want to expand instant replay in baseball. Will this simply increase that momentum?
I don't think there's any question about that. And I was actually surprised that more instant replay wasn't put in place after last year's playoffs when we saw so many missed calls by the umpires. There are a couple of factors at play here. Number one, there is a lot of sentiment at the team level to increase the use of replay. And number two, the technology has gotten so much better. You think about it as compared to 20 years ago. You have high definition, multiple angles, frozen pictures. And we know that if you're sitting at home watching a game, within 20, 30 seconds, you know that that call by Jim Joyce last night was the wrong call. Well, the only person who didn't have access to that last night was the guy who needed it, Jim Joyce, and I think eventually Major League Baseball will give access to expanded replay to the umpires.
Buster, thank you. Stand by. We'll check back with you later in this hour. JP, where are we going to be with instant replay in the not-too-distant future?
I'll be shocked if instant replay isn't in place by next year. I think all you have to do is go back 24 hours, and if Jim Joyce is in this situation, makes the call, you look back, you go look at it real quick, you come back, you make the right call, the guy gets the perfect game, Jim Joyce sleeps at night. There are too many things in place. Not only do the players want it, the owners are going to have to be the ones who push this, but more importantly, I think the umpires now are at the point where they want it, because ultimately, they want to get the play right. Everybody in the world sees the replay. They want to be able to come back and say, we made a mistake, let's get it right, let's move on. I think the biggest thing is pace of game. You have to be aware of that.
Well, it started with just the home runs, but now we covered foul lines, of course, in the postseason. Now we're at bang-bang plays at all the bases. So how much are we going to do here?
I think you have to be careful how many bang-bang plays you go. If it's a 10-2 game, it's a bang-bang play. You got to let it ride. If it's a situation like this where so much is on the line, it's a playoff game or a September game that everything is tight, I think you have to be able to throw a flag or whatever it is you come out and do, but at some point you have to get clarity just for the best part of the game. You have to be able to have the right decisions made.
The call will not be changed. Was that the right call?
I believe so. I think, the integrity of the game has to be in place here. I mean, there's so many plays that you can go back and say in the history of the game, we should have changed that, we could have changed this, and really it opens up a can of worms. What does the commissioner step in and say, hey, we got to change this or change that? So, unfortunately, it cost the guy a great moment in history, but I think it's something we learned from. The class everybody showed is great for baseball, and I think if we can go forward and be able to be in a position to change it down the road, I think it's only going to be something we learn from.
More breaking news around Major League Baseball on